All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Time right now is 12:11. And in Greater Springfield, for the most part, it has just been a really, really cold rain, but obviously different. You can see from Bree's live shot up there in Franklin County, they're dealing with sleet. And in the valley, it appears as though we're basically going from rain, a little bit of freezing rain, over to sleet, which is a good thing, but different across the hill towns in Berkshire County, where they've had quite a bit of freezing rain so far this morning, and then everything will wind down in some snow showers as we head into the evening. But it'll be getting worse as temperatures continue to fall as they go from northwest to southeast across western Mass as the temperatures continue to fall, and they'll be dropping below freezing, pretty much at freezing right now, and then falling as we go into the afternoon. So, we talk about freezing rain and sleet and the difference, and still keep in mind, sleet is what we want, because sleet are those little ice pellets that bounce when they hit the ground, and you don't end up with the freezing conditions or the ice that you would get from, say, freezing rain. This gloms onto everything, and this is what we've been noticing across parts of Berkshire County, which has led to some power outages. But we'll see the freezing rain for a little bit in the valley, and then we're pretty quickly going to be going over to sleet. We're at 32 degrees right now, so it is still rain. In fact, Don says in Holyoke now he's getting some sleet pellets mixing in there. 32 Springfield, 31 Northampton, Greenfield is at 29. Temperatures seem to be gradually falling here, right? So as we get into the afternoon, it is apparent that we're probably not going to have that quick deep freeze real fast in the valley, but nevertheless conditions will slowly continue to go downhill as we do see a lot of sleet and freezing rain across the area. It's really right in Holyoke down to Springfield where we're just hanging on to plain rain. Elsewhere, north and west, up in Northampton now we have some sleet, reports in Greenfield of sleet. And you look off to the west, it becomes a little bit more off and on the precipitation as well as we get into the afternoon. And then as that cold air continues to drain in, it would flip over to plain snow for a little while, for a couple of hours before it winds down. But look at Pittsfield, for example. They were dealing with rain with temperatures in the mid-20s. So yeah, they had quite a bit of freezing rain. It's sleeting there now. Albany's actually at snow. Keene is at snow as well, with a temperature there of 27. All of southern New England, all of New England for that matter, we have winter storm warning and winter weather advisories in effect until this evening. But again, we do have some holes in the precipitation, so it'll be coming down at varying rates of intensity all the way up to about 6 or 7 o'clock, and then things should wind down as our frontal system begins to push offshore. But the front has moved through now, 32 degrees, and look how cold it is behind the front. That cold air all the way down into Texas, while it's warm out ahead of it, almost 80 right now in Orlando, while it's 39 in New Orleans. So that colder air is draining in, hence we're starting to see that changeover across the area. Finally, here in Springfield. All right, let's check in with meteorologist Don Maher, who's in Holyoke right now. Don, you were pointing out that a little bit of sleet is mixing in. And Don, you got to be honest, we thought that the changeover would occur a little bit sooner. We'd see a little bit more freezing rain, but it appears as though we're going from rain right to sleet, which is actually a better scenario.
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. I mean, neither sleet or freezing rain is ideal, but if we're going to get one or the other, the sleet certainly is a little bit better scenario because the sleet, it falls from the sky, it bounces around a little bit, it will create some slush on the roadways, but it's certainly something you can maybe get a little bit more traction on as compared to freezing rain. And within the last, I'd say 10 minutes or so, we've started to see the sleet beginning to mix in here in Holyoke as temperature down to around 31, 32 degrees. And as we continue to move through the afternoon, we're going to see that precipitation continue. Freezing rain, then over to sleet. But of course, if we go over to sleet faster, that's certainly great news. It means less chance for us to see any glazes of freezing rain on the roadways. And then as we continue to push through the afternoon into the evening, that colder air continues to drain on in. So we may actually see this end as a little bit of light, fluffy snow as we head through the mid to late afternoon hours. And then we'll start to dry things out as we head on into tonight. But yeah, Dan, we're waiting for this colder air. It seems like it's taking a little bit longer for that colder air to drain on in, which is why, especially here into the lower valley, we held on to that just plain cold rain for quite a bit longer. But now, as you mentioned, the front has gone through. With the winds out of the north, that colder air is gradually beginning to drain on in. And even now here in the lower valley, we're starting to see a little bit of sleet mix in our Holyoke, at our location here in Holyoke. And I would expect that continue to be the case as we head through the afternoon. But Dan, unlike our last storm system where we were talking about all snow, this is going to be a mixed bag of precipitation. And now I think we're finally starting to see that transition here in the valley.
And Don, what's interesting is, the storm started yesterday, so really 3/4 of it have fallen in the form of just plain rain. We picked up about an inch to an inch and a half, but now it's the sleet and freezing rain. And notice how we have the glaze forecasted from Northampton Point south. That's because north and west has already gone over to sleet, already had their freezing rain. So we'll see the freezing rain line shift to the south as everything goes over to sleet. So the best chance of glazing now is really from Northampton to Springfield, down Interstate 91, down into Connecticut. And we'll pick up a coating to maybe an inch of sleet, which is hard to move around, right? So we've dropped it a little bit. So, this afternoon, is it going to be the worst driving conditions ever? Probably not in the valley, but certainly things will be going downhill as we get into the afternoon. And that means it will impact your Friday evening commute as well. I'd say after about 7, 8 o'clock, we're pretty much done with all precipitation. Then the colder air drains in tonight. High pressure will supply us with a decent amount of sunshine over the weekend, although it is going to be cold. We'll be down in the teens tomorrow morning, and we'll probably only make it into the mid-20s in the afternoon. Factor in a little bit of wind, and it's going to feel like it's in the single digits and teens. Frigid start on Sunday, mid-20s in the afternoon, but the wind will be lighter on Sunday, and then a nice little moderating trend as we get into next week, back above freezing and maybe even cracking 40 again by Wednesday and Thursday. No big storms indicated, maybe a few showers on Tuesday. All right, that's your forecast. Another look at weather coming up in a few minutes. David, back over to you.